What does a young child do when it's casted out of their friend group because of being a little bit different? One thing I believe we all can agree on is that some of the kids are really rude and just purely mean. And those kids being mean to others can affect the whole lives of those other kids that are being bullied just because of being a little different. A lot of pieces of media cover this specific topic, and anime is no different, with stuff like Koe no Katachi or A Silent Voice, an anime slash manga whose story revolves solely around this topic. And if any of you haven't seen the anime or read manga, I'd highly recommend it. But I'm getting a bit off topic here, because we are here to talk about Tendō, and how does this relate to him? Well, he's gone through this himself in his childhood, and it had some big consequences. He was always seen by other kids as a monster and a weirdo, what meant that he was alone most of the time. And all of that made him hide his feelings from people and even from himself. He was called ugly names and ignored, so he tried finding an escape, tried finding something fun to do. So he tried out volleyball and was really good at it. In his mind, people were simple beings, so he thought that the easiest way to play against them was just to guess what they will do. And in all fairness to him, he was amazing at it. But even as years went on and he grew older, people still thought of him as scary. The only difference now being that they are not telling it to his face, but behind his back. His coaches also didn't like the way he played, so they got mad at him quite often, but all he wanted to do was to play volleyball that felt good, and yet even that was prohibited to an extent. When applying to a high school, he went to Shiratorizawa and told Tanji that all he wanted was to play volleyball that made him feel good. Tanji's answer to that was that he didn't care, as long as Tendō scores. And that was the first for Tendō, and surprises only kept coming. While in high school, he actually managed to find friends, most notably Wakatoshi. They were both people everyone found scary to talk to, and that kind of drew them together. However, Wakatoshi wasn't the only friend he found, but there were others, all from the volleyball club who saw both of them for what they were. Tendō before that was a 7-year-old stuck in a high schooler's body, wanting just to have fun. He was stuck as a little kid because he couldn't grow up, because he had no one to grow up with. He never had fun like that child in him wanted to have. But everyone from the Shiratorizawa volleyball team was his trigger and made him mature and realize that there is more to people than just evil, and that there is more to him than just wanting to have fun. So he got interested in other things as well, as actually interacting with people. He went from the guy listening to everyone to the guy speaking the loudest. He went from the monster you don't want to play with to an essential part of the team. He changed, slowly but surely, and soon enough, his third year of high school rolled around, and the match against Karasuno happened. That match was filled with emotional highs and lows, for it seems everyone except for him. He didn't ever seem to feel down, he would just feel angry. Because he had made the decision before the match. He had decided that this was going to be his last competition, and all he wanted to do was have more fun while he could. And yet these Karasuno boys ruined that. After the match, when stretching, he told Ushiwaka that he's quitting, as well as joking with him how he's gonna brag about how they were schoolmates once Ushiwaka becomes a star. But one thing that really stuck with me during this conversation was the fact that he acknowledges that he was being driven by childish reasons, and how he still is to some point. But he managed to escape the wormhole of loneliness, and now that 7-year-old boy in him has finally grown up. Sorry for the shorter video guys, Tendō is a character I see get a lot of love but also a lot of hate, so I want to explain my reasons for loving the guy, but since his backstory is like 2 minutes long, there wasn't much to go off of for my type of video. But I think I did a decent job at getting my point across. So, that will be it for today. If you liked the video, make sure to click the like. If you want to stick around, subscribe, and please feel free to comment your thoughts down below. And yeah, that's about it. Trigger. Oh.